Yo, check it. Call Lil C's. Tell that motherfucker to bring me some motherfucking weed to the hospital, man. Fuck that. Tell Uncle Paul to go pick up 10,000 from Dez and go take about like 20 G's from Gino. Tell that motherfucker to get this nigga next door up out of here. That nigga be snoring all night. I can't sleep. And call that big butt nurse with the long hair to come suck my dick.
Welcome to the first ever Notorious MMA Podcast, recorded from London. I'm joined with my co-hosts, Eric, Leo, Paul, and myself, Alan. We are recording this on Tuesday, the 6th of December, in the build-up to UFC 206 this Saturday from Toronto. And just going to introduce you to my co-host here. We have Eric.
What's up?
We've come up with a few questions here for you just to get to know us a little better. So, Eric, when did you first start watching MMA?
I started watching MMA when I was 15, so that's a good 15 years ago, because I'm 30 now. So 15 years ago I used to watch it on Bravo, if anyone remembers that.
The Bravo days.
The Bravo days, yeah, man.
That channel existed.
Oh man, it probably don't exist anymore.
Oh, it doesn't, no.
But back in the day you had cheap porn and you had UFC.
Break out the red panties.
I was happy with that.
And so, Eric, who is your favourite UFC fighter or Pride MMA, anything of all time?
Such a tough question, man. I got loads. Well, I'll tell you, when I first got into UFC, so when I was 15...
We just need one, Eric.
It was Matt Hughes. He was the first one I loved. That's like when I first got into it. He was just smashing Brares up, and I was like, "Who is this guy? What is this sport?"
Yeah.
So I loved it. But you know, along the way, it's hard. I mean, I was always a huge fan of Crow Cup. I loved Crow Cup, Shogun Hua from Pride.
Okay.
So I loved them. But it's difficult to look past Conor McGregor at the minute. I fucking love that guy.
Standard. Okay, so what is your favourite UFC fight of all time?
Well, I'm interested to see what you guys have to say, because I've got about 3 or 4 different favourite fights. So if we're all going to be saying the same one, I might want to move on. Probably give a quick shout out to Diego Sanchez and Clay Guida.
Yeah.
That was one of the most insane fights I've ever seen. It was crazy. Just because of the action. But in terms of that technique, man, that second Diaz-McGregor fight was just fucking
up there, yeah.
Unbelievable, man. Because it had the drama, it had the ebb and the flow, and it was a war, but technically so sound. So those two would stand out for sure.
Okay, cool. And we're joined by Paul as well.
Howdy.
How's it going, Paul? So when did you start watching MMA?
Well, I'm 24 now, so it's, I don't know, probably 12 years ago.
Okay. Can you
Something
remember
like
your
10 or 12 years.
first fight?
First fight, I know it was Chuck Liddell, and I'm pretty sure it was against Tito Ortiz.
Okay.
Oh,
So
nice.
Chuck v Tito.
First
Good
fight?
rivalry.
Was it the first fight?
That was the first fight, I'm
Nice.
pretty sure, yeah.
And your favourite fighter of all time, not counting Conor McGregor?
Not counting Conor, so yeah, makes it a bit easier. Gonna have to go with GSP.
GSP.
Oh, really?
GSP.
Even though I wanted to say Chuck, I ended up with GSP because I don't know, just
Trying to get the Canadians on your side.
he never, he never really lost apart from that controversial decision against Johnny Hendricks, which could have went either way. Which some thought he won, some thought he lost. Could be,
Come on, man, he got mauled. GSP got mauled in that.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, I thought Johnny Hendricks won that fight, so
Yeah.
it's so close. Yeah, so GSP.
Okay.
Alright.
And favourite fight of all time?
Yeah, there's so many, but
Just one that stands out.
it's got to be McGregor Diaz 2 for me.
Okay.
Because
Similar.
that was, when you watch it back, it's just non-stop from start to finish.
Okay.
And I'll go with that one.
Cool. And joined by Leo also.
Hey there.
When did you start watching MMA, Leo?
It's hard to remember. It's just so way back now. But I'd say it was in my early teens, probably around 14, something like that. Yeah, I think the first thing I watched was UFC 1, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the first one you watched?
It was the first one I watched. It got me into it. I just remember all the hype about a sumo wrestler fighting a karate expert, and you know, getting into all of that. You know, back when it was just martial arts versus martial arts rather than really MMA. You know, that was amazing, and
It was, yeah.
yeah, it was just a shocker. You know, seeing that sumo wrestler. I forget what his name is now, but when you get booted right in the face and his teeth came flying out.
Yeah.
That was just, you know, that's
That
what
was
got
the
me
first
into it. You were
fight.
instantly connected into it.
That was the first fight of the
first
night, and it
one.
was just
Yeah.
like, wow. Yeah.
Just set the tone for what UFC was, you know, back then.
So, favourite fighter of all time?
Favourite fighter? Obviously McGregor is amazing. I have to throw that out there. But
Besides McGregor.
Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's my
Silva.
favourite still. Yeah.
And the Viagra isn't a problem for you?
No, it's not. Because I think, you know, all that bollocks now, all the kind of drugs and everything, it's in a time where everyone was doing it anyway. So
You've
it
had a
doesn't
long
affect
fight,
me
I
as
mean-
much. Obviously, you're disappointed to hear it. No one wants to hear that, but everyone did it. So
Yeah.
what can you say?
Yeah, definitely.
You've had a long fight, it's going to be hard to get it up that evening, let's be honest.
Hey, look, I don't know about his sexual frustrations or problems and that, but you know.
We're not here to
you
talk
can
about.
talk about it later.
We're not here to talk
Oh,
about
this is
the.
no holds barred, man. We talk about anything. It all goes. All
That's
is
for
good.
another day. Viagra and MMA. And so, favourite fight?
Favourite
One
fight.
fight that stands out.
Okay, the one that just jumps to mind is Robbie Lawler against Rory McDonald.
Okay.
That was just the whole way through. It was just back and forth, and just that final round where they just faced each other off.
Right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end of the round. That just got me so excited.
That
time.
was similar to McGregor's Diaz too, in the way it was
Yeah,
back and forth
exactly.
the whole way, 5
Yeah,
rounds. Oh.
It was.
Robbie
Bloods.
Lawler's almost got his own category.
Well, that's the
His
thing.
fights
Every
are
one of his fights is amazing.
fucking unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Alan? So, when did you start?
The first UFC I watched was UFC 3. Back when you could just rent them from Blockbuster or whatever.
Oh,
So
nice.
that was like the first one, but then I didn't get into it until the Bravo started showing us Chuck Liddell and Tito and Randy on like Sunday nights at 9 p.m.
Yeah,
So that was pretty cool.
that trilogy was sick. Randy and Iceman.
Yeah,
One of the all-time greats.
I think
definitely.
that got us sort of all back into it, where we could actually watch it regularly. Favorite fighter, it's got to be Dan Henderson.
Nice.
I think we all know that by now. Dan Henderson, just a complete legend. He'll beat anyone in the world on his day, and other days he'll get knocked completely senseless.
What's your favourite Dan Henderson fight?
Favorite Dan Henderson fight? Whew. Probably knocking out Vanderlei in Pride
Oh, yeah?
when they came to America
Yeah, that was
and
exciting.
spinning
I was
back
happy.
fisted him.
Yeah, I was happy with
That
that.
was pretty sick. Beating Fedor, you
Yeah.
know, the first guy
Shogun?
really to knock out Fedor. The
Shogun
Shogun,
fight?
2
That was
wars,
nuts.
so many. Yeah.
All-time fight?
All-time fight, I'll go with Chuck Liddell, Vanderlei. Because that was just the king of Pride v the king of the UFC.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was
3
really
rounds
fun.
of just mayhem, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'd go with that one.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Fighter? Oh, you said it.
Said it
Ignore me.
already.
Edit that one out.
Yeah.
Can I just give an honourable mention to Ken Shamrock? Because he doesn't get a lot of love in the MMA
Round of
world.
applause for Ken Shamrock,
Yeah.
everyone.
No, because he got a lot of the wrestling fans.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
true. That's what I'm
Because of
saying.
Ken Shamrock, the most dangerous man.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, if we're saying favourite fight of all time, it's got to be Ken Shamrock versus Owen Hart. If we've been honest. The Lions Den match, do you remember that?
Oh
On like
yeah.
some, wrestling event, I don't know. But, yeah.
And it wasn't mentioned, but Bigfoot, Mark Hunt.
That's
Bigfoot,
it.
Mark Hunt,
Best heavyweight
so
fight.
many.
Best
of all time.
heavyweight fight, man. That
Definitely.
fight was sick, man.
He did pop positive after that Bigfoot, but
Yeah. Well, look at the size of him, man.
Notorious.
So the main event of UFC 206 is for the interim featherweight belt, Holloway Pettis, which I think is going to be a sick fight, and we'll
Great
talk
fight.
about that in a minute because I'm really excited for that fight. But it's impossible not to talk about the fact that Conor got stripped, which is why they're fighting for the interim. So, and Jose Aldo became champion. So first, what do we actually think about him being stripped?
should he have been stripped?
Should he have been stripped?
He hasn't had it that long without fighting.
The featherweight? How long has he had it? He's had it a while.
It's
been a
under
while
a year
now.
though. It's under a year.
Is it under
And
a
usually
year?
they do wait a year until they take it off someone.
When did he
knocked out
When did he knock
Aldo?
out Aldo?
I'm not sure exactly, but it hasn't been a year
In
basically.
January, yeah.
No,
December.
it hasn't
Fucking
been
hell.
a year. So
I can see why it makes sense, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, I'm not saying I'm for it. So probably not. But I am slightly relieved we can just move on with that division,
Of course.
in a sense, because I don't think he wanted to fight again at featherweight.
Well, what do you wish
and
had
that's it.
happened?
That's it. He doesn't want to defend that belt. He's going to pick whoever he wants, and he's already said, "I'm not fighting Aldo again."
Have you seen a picture of him recently?
McGregor.
Yeah.
No, is he?
He's buff, man.
Yeah.
He's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really big. So I don't think he's going to make that cut. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting bigger than his sort of featherweight days. Obviously, coming up to welterweight, fighting Nate Diaz. Taught him that he's got to, hit hard, but then he's got to do it for longer now because they're not going down as easy. And, I mean...
So do you think he'll stay? Where do you think he fights next? Lightweight?
I think...
Because it's really Khabib at lightweight.
I think he's going to end up fighting Khabib, I think.
It's got to be Khabib if it's a lightweight.
But he
fight.
might want to choose to fight
so.
Woodley because he
Yeah.
might be able to, so we'll
I think
see.
those are the two options.
But wait, should he have been stripped?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's not going to defend it. Unless
I think he needed to.
Yeah.
It was-
I think
it was
if
kind of about time.
if
For
you
me,
go
it
and
was too
defend
long.
if you go and defend it, I think you should be able to keep it for a fight or two. If you
Yeah.
keep defending it every
Yeah.
couple of
But-
fights,
but
that
when-
proves that you're,
But when you come out and say, I'm not fighting Jose Aldo again,
Yeah.
all they could do really was take it off.
But like he said, he's the one with the belts at home. It's everyone knows that he's still the two-time
Of
champ.
course.
So yeah, of course, it's fine. We all know it.
And I'm sure he'd come back, if there was a worthy challenge for him in his eyes, he would be back there fighting.
I'd love to see Pettis Connor.
Yeah. Well,
I
he's
think
got
that
to
would
get
be
through.
such a fucking fun fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If he gets
it
through
might
Holloway.
happen, yeah.
And that's it. Who's
That would be
Aldo going to fight? Aldo said he only wants to fight Conor.
But I just don't think he'll fight now. Now that he's been stripped and he's getting bigger, preparing to fight bigger
Yeah,
guys.
I don't see he should.
He
Yeah.
just
don't
looks
see
so
him going
comfortable
back.
at lightweight. Don't you think he just looked at his best
Yeah,
by
man.
far? And I would have liked to have seen him go down to featherweight, to be honest. It
Me
would have been
too.
amazing if he could be that guy who could cut weight and go to whatever and defend all his titles.
But
you
he
know.
can't.
He can't.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
Well, he
And
could.
it's
He
a big
doesn't want
ask,
to. He
but-
doesn't want to fight Jose Aldo. So
They were brutal cuts, man.
yeah, he looks
They
like
were
a shell
brutal
of
cuts.
himself.
Remember, he looked like a fucking
He did,
yeah.
demon scarecrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Even those cuts he was doing with Mendes,
Yeah.
that was fucking nuts. So they're hard cuts. I think he doesn't want to do it.
So who do we think he should fight next? I'm saying
Right.
Khabib.
Absolutely agree. I've been fucking talking about this for weeks.
I
to
think
you guys,
lightweight
man.
is his division.
Khabib and Conor, that has got to be the fight, man. That lightweight,
Alan's Khabib, Eric's Khabib.
100%.
I'd love to see Tyrone, but I
hmm.
don't see it happening.
I'm gonna go with. I did say Khabib earlier, so really I'm gonna say Khabib because
Yeah,
I
I
think
think-
everyone's gonna call for it, and that's it. What
Yeah.
do you think, Lou?
I agree. It's got to be Khabib. He's the one who deserves it. Everyone, I think all the fight fans want to see it. Personally, from what I've heard, everyone wants Khabib, but I haven't heard much else. You should hear a few crazy creative ones like Tyrone Woodley or
Uh-huh.
GSP randomly getting thrown out there or something like that.
Yeah, it's
But-
been said.
But who deserves it more than Khabib?
Yeah. Yeah,
No
he
one.
does. He deserves
No
it.
one.
And I know McGregor's all about the big fights, so he's always going to look for that money fight.
Well, that's
Yeah.
it.
The
If
Diaz
there's something
rematch, the
above,
trilogy, the Diaz trilogy for the belt.
that could happen. That did cross
But
my
that
mind.
can't
as the
happen.
first
It's
For
got
the
to be
belt,
Khabib.
yeah.
It's got to be a number one contender, or
Yeah.
else it's just silly.
But McGregor's silly, and that's the way it happens.
McGregor
He's
holds
running
the
his
card.
own show, man.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. UFC 206, episode 1. Let's talk about the main event.
So who do we have? Max Holloway versus Anthony Showtime Pettis for the interim belt.
Can I just say how civil that was? We all just agreed. And it never goes that way.
That's it. You
We're
know.
always arguing, but we actually all agree.
Yeah.
Khabib.
So Khabib, if you're out there, give us a like.
This is unusual.
Yeah. That is.
Khabib, follow the podcast. We'll be talking about you probably every week
I
until.
love you, Khabib.
Until you get your well-deserved title shot.
And then we'll talk about you some more. Then you will literally be notorious.
Notorious.
we're going to talk about Max Holloway Pettis a little bit and cut it down some details.
Cool. What do you think? You go.
I think it should be a fucking great fight, first of all.
I think I pick Holloway because I think he's more well-rounded than Pettis recently, and I think even his striking, Pettis isn't as what it was before. He's going rounds with people now, and he doesn't look like he's can like go for the knockout in round one like he used to and stuff like that with his striking.
He's looked good at featherweight.
He's looked good, but I just think Holloway's looked really good.
He's doing amazing.
I like Holloway, and Holloway was one of the only people to put up a fight against McGregor other than Diaz.
Yeah, and he's improved so much since then.
Yeah, he has. He's been on a
He
tear.
hasn't lost a fight since.
He's been on a tear, exactly. Is it 6, 7 in a row?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'm gonna go with Holloway on this one. Alan, what are you going with?
It's so hard to call. I think Pettis has looked really good at featherweight. But I'm going with Holloway. I think all round on the up and up, he's a bit sharper.
How so? How's he been?
In the striking, I think it could go decision. I don't think it'll be crazy flashy knockout. I think it will be a good striking matchup. They'll both be wary of each other.
Yeah, it's high level stand up between both of them, and he could easily go the distance.
But it is 5 rounds, so
yeah,
I think Holloway could take him out late or win a decision.
Interesting. Okay.
With his striking.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you guys. I hate that we're all agreeing tonight, but to be Max Holloway, he's got the determination in his eyes. When I look at him, he's the focused fighter.
He's got the eye of the
tiger.
tiger.
Skills, and as we say, he's been on the tear. I was looking at him last night. I was watching his videos, and he looks
so
great.
focused, isn't it?
Pettis he's a much more exciting fighter for me personally. I love his moves and what he does, and I actually want to see him win.
And
I don't think he will. He's just been back and forth. He's had a win, a loss.
Recently, do you think he's been on that level though?
No, I think he has. He looked good in his first featherweight fight, but I don't think he looks as good as Max Holloway right now. And I feel like he'll win it.
It's such a good fight.
So you're going with Max Holloway?
I'm going with Max Holloway.
Interesting. Do you know what? I couldn't disagree with the things you've said. Max Holloway's been on a tear. He's looked really good. I really liked him. But I'm not fucking having this. I'm not going to just fucking pick the same fighter for every fight with you cunts.
Yeah.
so I'm
going
to I'm going to say that he's had more time to adjust to the cut and the weight.
Yeah.
Than he did his first fight, dropping from lightweight to featherweight, and I'm going to say Andy Pettis is going to pull it off. It's going to be fucking magnificent.
It's finally showtime.
Yeah, featherweight, man. I think he can make a serious run.
Okay.
Yeah, so
co-main event, we've got Donald the Cowboy Budweiser Cerrone versus
Matt the Immortal
that
Brown.
is awesome.
What a fight!
man.
I'm more excited about that. I think. Really.
That's a fucking amazing
I don't know. They're
fight.
both great fights, but I just love Cerrone, Matt as well. He's just on a fucking tear, man.
Wow.
He's an animal, man. Matt
And
Brown's
this
an
is at welterweight, obviously. Cerrone's looked really good at welterweight.
brilliant. Yeah.
Very hard to call again, but I think you got to go with Cerrone. Matt Brown's been stopped a few times recently.
Yeah.
I think I would be picking Cerrone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not confident Cerrone looked all that great in his
I'm not
last couple
confident
of
in
fights
any of these
either.
fights.
Dos Anjos, and I know Dos Anjos is good, but a couple of people, and
Yeah,
Matt
but
Brown,
only Dos Anjos,
Yeah.
The Matt Browns shouldn't really be tested.
It's a perfect. I think it's a perfect fight for Cerrone to sort of come back and prove his worth again, and Matt Brown could step up and take a big name if he comes with the goods against Cerrone. So.
Exactly.
But I am picking Donald Cerrone.
Leo, who are you picking? How do you think this fight will go?
I think this fight could go anywhere. They're both amazing to stand up. They both got the submissions. I think they both do great submissions, especially Cerrone. But I think his stand-up's going to win it. I could see him doing his Muay Thai, bringing his knees in there, mixing it up with some elbows, and I think he's confident. He's looking good, and I think he'll beat him. Yeah, I just think he's a better all-round fighter. I think Matt Brown. He's been around for a while, but he's not as experienced as Cerrone. He doesn't fight as regularly as him. I think Cerrone's got it.
I think at this point, at this stage, Matt Brown's almost like a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
For the divisions.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Cerrone's looked fucking awesome at welterweight. And it's something I want to talk about, Cerrone. I want to talk about the fact that he doesn't, we talked about this before, innit? That he doesn't actually spar in his training.
Yeah.
Just something I want to get to later.
He just drinks.
Yeah, he goes on rodeos.
Fluids.
I agree with that lifestyle.
It's very interesting, man. Yeah, it's very interesting. So you're just not injured, innit? You're not injured all the time. And we haven't talked about the original main event. It was fucking DC and Rumble.
Yeah.
Fucking DC got injured. That AK fucking A
Yeah.
camp.
How
He's
gutted were you
injuring their
when you found
fighters.
out the news?
Yeah, that was the main event that we were waiting for. But, you know, they'll do it again down the road, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, of
it
course
would have
they
been.
will.
It would have been good, but yeah, AKA they just can't keep their fighters.
They spar too hard, man.
They beat each other up.
Yeah, you've seen those videos, innit, with DC and Velasquez.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and they got this like semi-squared off octagon, and they're just smashing each other.
Yeah, they look like they're going 100%, man.
Yeah, barbaric. Like, it's stupid.
But steel sharpens steel, Eric.
Yeah, but you don't have to be smashing into each other, like.
Yeah.
You know, the steel can tenderly tap each other. Like, I just think it's too hard, man. It's like barbaric ways of training. Like sparring too hard. Like Una Minhao, the Brazilian camp, you know, Aldo, Barral, all of them, they kept getting injured for
The
fights.
same, yeah.
How many fights did Aldo have to cancel, miss?
Exactly.
Too many.
Yeah, and he's missed out on a shitload of money and all the fame that Conor has. Because Conor doesn't get injured, but when he does, he just fights. Oh.
Yeah.
And I don't think he spars 100%. That's not part of Conor McGregor's training.
Yeah, you see a lot of him doing this fluidity training, which is very different. He's going out in the woods and doing this other stuff, and going to Iceland and training with
Some
other
good
people.
fresh air.
Yeah,
That Dublin air.
absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. One of the things, like, when I first heard about Conor McGregor, I watched this like little documentary show that they did. It was like 25 minutes. And on that, John Kavanagh was saying that one of the things he insists in his camp is training technique. And it's just over and over again repetition of techniques and different techniques.
Yeah, over sparring.
Yeah, when you're sparring, you're not really learning technique.
Yeah, it's reactions.
Yeah, you're learning that reflex to fight.
Yeah.
You know, and that is important. But
It is.
yeah, I think it's how hard you train that though. Do you wear your body out doing it, or do you just get to a certain level and you know you're there? Or...
You must
Personally,
wear your body out, man. Like sparring, like especially AKA and Una Minhao, they spar hard,
But
man.
also,
They go 100%.
but sparring without boxing gloves, like not just sparring like that in the gym. They actually are doing UFC gloves and saying we'll hit each other at about 60%, 70% of our power, and sometimes they accidentally sort of daze each other, and they do hit each other on the
They injure each other, man.
Yeah.
They fuck each other up.
But that's it.
sparring.
Yeah, there's been a few cases where you'll take a big punch and sort of nearly knock you out. I'm pretty sure it's happened to a few people, and it's like, oh shit, sorry, I got you. You know what I mean? Like,
I think Robbie Lawler came out recently and said he's had to stop sparring as well.
Did he say that?
Yeah, because, you know, the age is creeping up on him as well, and he just doesn't want to take that many hits, you know, rather save himself for the fight.
I think it makes sense, man. I
Yeah.
think it's like the new evolution of MMA because
We'll see, yeah.
But I think there's the other side of it. It's like when you go to Thailand and you train with Thai boxers and you wear your body out and you train to, you know, kill the cells in your body to learn to take a
Get
punch.
used to it.
So you have to do that at the same time.
Yeah, it's finding
So I
that
think
balance.
you need
But
to
don't they do
find the
that
balance
main-
and get to that level, exactly.
yeah. But don't they mainly do that with like their shins and their forearms?
Of everything.
Really?
It's
Like
just
taking licks to the head?
Taking that's what part of sparring is learning to take a punch. That's one of the most important things.
Interesting.
Alright.
Interesting. We'll see. We'll see. I think there should be more time spent learning like technique and movement because like Anderson Silva, I know you love him, Leah, and Conor McGregor. One of the reasons they're so effective is because they move differently. You know, they haven't got that square kind of Muay Thai, your usual MMA.
that's it.
They're
And
just
yeah.
freaks of nature.
Yeah. But also they're training it. That's Anderson
Yeah.
Silva and Conor McGregor training these techniques.
But what happened when Anderson Silva did get hit?
There you go.
He went straight up and down, didn't he? So, you know, maybe he needed to spar a little bit.
Well, he actually came up
Interesting.
with Vanderlei, you know, back in the Pride days in the Shooter Box Academy, and they're the most known for killing each other.
They hate each other,
Shogun.
don't they?
I think now they do, yeah. But they were best buds back in the day.
That's it. I mean, it's that
And
notorious.
they came up fighting hard. Shogun, you know, in the Brazil Shooter Box Academy, they're known for just killing each other, like no gloves.
Yeah, those Brazilian camps are crazy.
And they were always alright to fight, you know. But that was.
I think that might be the past. I think we've moved on.
Yeah, and they could charge themselves up before everything with whatever they could find. We've got Cub Swanson versus Doo Ho Choi, another featherweight fight. What do we think about this, boys?
I like Choi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many he's won in the UFC? Is it 3?
3 in the UFC. He's won all by knockout, I believe.
Yeah, he's very impressive.
Yeah.
To be fair, I haven't actually seen all 3. I'll be brutally honest, but I saw him absolutely destroy Tavares in the first round.
Well, they do all look the same. Joking. But he is from South Korea, and he's on an absolute tear, as we say on this podcast. So he's coming up against Cub Swanson, the gatekeeper of the featherweight division. There's a lot of gatekeepers on this card.
He is ranked number 4 though, isn't he?
Yeah, Cub's been going well.
Yeah.
He's up and down in his career.
Yeah, I think he's on the slide.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
Was it, did Mendes?
He looks like 50 years old as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, he looks worn out.
Well,
Damn. Way too much sparring in his case. That's an example of taking it too far.
Yeah.
so who we picking for this then? What do you reckon? I think it'd be a good fight.
That said, I still go for Cub Swanson.
Yeah.
I think he's a strong fighter. He's fought with the best. I think it's Doo Ho Choi who needs to prove himself in this fight.
He's got a lot to prove.
Relatively unknown.
Okay.
So I gotta go with Cub.
I think Doo Ho for this one. I'm gonna go with the up and comer. He's only 25. I'm picking Doo Ho. What do you think, Eric?
Joy stops it.
Sure.
I reckon. Yeah.
Has he got power then? He must have, and he's got.
Yeah, he's got really good kicks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a nice. I don't know if it's taekwondo, but it's got a nice sort of base.
Koreans are usually known for taekwondo, yeah.
And yeah, I think he knocks him out.
Cool. The next fight is Tim Kennedy versus Kelvin Gastelum. Finally, at middleweight.
Excited for this fight.
Kelvin can eat as many roastiness as he wants, and he'll make the weight, hopefully. As of Tuesday, he's still fighting. So, yeah, another good fight. Tim Kennedy's been gone for a couple of years now, since he controversially lost to Yoel, the Soldier of God, Romero.
Yeah, that was a shocker, man. I felt so bad for him in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, it was... Basically, he was winning, right?
He was. Oh, he came off so strong in the second round. Romero, I think, had the first round. Dealt with him pretty well, but Kennedy put up a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
Second, Kennedy nearly knocked him out. He actually knocked him against the fence. He fell back on
He
the
was
fence.
fucked. Romero was
fucked. He couldn't find the stool.
Could barely get back.
Then
to
his
the
corner did all sorts of nonsense. kept
he
him
resurrected.
on the stool. They didn't take the stool. They walked out without
for ages,
it.
man.
Then came back and started pretending to ice him again.
That was ridiculous.
There was water everywhere. They dropped water, didn't they?
Yeah,
on purpose?
They did everything you could think of in
so
in
they
a
could
minute.
mop it up.
Exactly.
So
It was nuts, man. And then Romero came out and fucking knocked him out.
Knocked him out in seconds.
Romero's a
straight
beast.
away. Yeah.
He's one of my current favourite fighters on the roster.
Yeah.
Romero. He's fucking brilliant. I love him.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
that
can't
was-
wait for his fight.
But that was nuts. You brought up 2 interesting points there. So the first thing, one, we talked about it. So yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous what happened to Tim Kennedy. Definitely should have actually won that fight because he wasn't ready to come out, so he should have won. And excited to see Tim Kennedy back.
He's been gone a while. 2
He's
years.
been gone a while. He beat Bisbing, man. He manhandled him.
Yeah.
The current champion.
He looks in
It's
really
true,
good
yeah.
shape.
He could be fighting for the belt, if it weren't for that Romero.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. Yeah.
He looks in really good shape, but he hasn't been fighting. So is he gonna have that same sharpness?
Yeah.
We'll find out, obviously.
And the Kevin Gastelum is a disgrace, man. That boy, man.
Cerrone is on this card, but he
Yeah.
did not want to fight him again. Obviously, after last time.
Fucking taco eating motherfucker.
MSG is known for its takeaways.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's
and he obviously
ridiculous.
indulged before that fight.
Yeah, man, because he should be a welterweight, man, but he just can't fucking.
Yeah,
Can't
he's
be
short.
disciplined.
He's
He
short.
can't be disciplined. So yeah, hopefully he gets fucked up. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
I'd
happen.
like to see Kennedy take him out. I think he'll
I
be
think
the
he
fan
will,
favourite.
man. He's big.
Yeah,
He's strong.
I think so. But I like Gastelum though.
He's a good fighter.
I think he's
Yeah.
amazing. I kind of think of him as a mini Velasquez or something. You know,
Yeah.
he kind of goes in there and tears it. Remember when he won the tough finale against Uriah Hall and just done him and just embarrassed him in front of everyone.
Beat up Hendricks in his
he
last
has
fight.
those great
Yeah, man,
performances.
he's good.
I think he's got the tools to, become a champ someday. I don't know if he's there yet, but I think
Kennedy's a
but
big
not
guy.
a middleweight. I don't think so, man. He
Kennedy's
can't
a
bully
big,
people.
muscular guy. Like,
Man, yeah. Romero would fuck Gastelum up big time.
Yeah, at the
Can you
moment.
imagine-
I think he needs a few more fights and he'll get better. But
What
I
about
think he's got the
Weidman?
tools.
Weidman would manhandle Gastelum, I reckon.
I don't know, I think Gastelum could take him out.
yeah.
I think he's got the power, he can surprise people. He's got resilience.
Romero softened up that head for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So who do you think wins it? You think Gastelum?
Yeah, I'm going with Gastelum. I think he's going to surprise us. He's going to pull it out.
Yeah.
He's going to wrestle him. And he'll probably win a decision.
I'll say if the fight goes ahead, I'm going with Kennedy.
If the fight goes ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I think Kennedy is going to be up for this. He's been away hunting Hitler for a couple of years.
Well, yeah, what is that, man? You fucking just showed me the video.
Yeah. Well, he's
It
been...
was just before this, man. That is nuts. What's he been doing?
He did a TV series with the History Channel where he wanted to find out if Hitler was still alive. There's like a conspiracy that his body was never found.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and he went around talking to like old Nazis and stuff to try and find out information.
Yeah, you showed me the trailer, man. I couldn't believe it. It looks so fucking gripping.
Yeah,
It looked nuts.
because I think he's ex-army, isn't he, Tim Kennedy?
Yeah, he is.
So I think he's done a lot of stuff, back in the army world, fighting
he's
for
like this
America.
Army technology they were using.
He still hasn't let World War II go. It's unconfirmed if he is Jewish. He's definitely got something to prove. So we'll see if his focus is on fighting again finally. But he is an exciting fighter, and it's another good fight. 4 good fights on this event.
Yeah.
We're not sure about the 5th.
Yeah, I think Kennedy
fight.
wins, man. I think he'll just manhandle him.
Kennedy as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, definitely. I
Okay.
definitely think he does. I think Gastelum don't belong in that division. He should be fighting a welterweight, but he can't get his shit together. Lad.
Biggie. Biggie.
So the next big story to talk about this week is there has been a union finally formed in MMA. Never thought we'd see the day. Dana White obviously is not too happy probably about this. He's come out and said,
Not too happy, that's kind. Seething.
he's come out and said, he's all for it if they want to do it.
You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you will do nothing.
I think it's the Bellator MMA guy, Bjorn Remy, is in charge of it and helped put it together and whatever. So he's obviously got an idea of what's going on. A few big names, GSP, Cain Velasquez,
Wow.
Donald Cerrone and Tim Kennedy, who are fighting. They've all approved of this and joined up. And they're looking to change the face of MMA for the fighters.
What's Mark Hunt saying? Is he joining?
Mark Hunt. I haven't heard anything he said actually so far, but I'm sure he's all for it. I'm sure he still wants that check that Brock took off him.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go Punisher mode on the UFC, man. And just start mowing them down.
Super Samoan. Dana White just looks up and there's a Super Samoan running through the office.
Yeah, man, throwing grenades everywhere, just mowing people down.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, well, go on, Leo, you go. What do you think? There should be a union?
Yeah, it's about time. Things need to evolve. The sport's evolving. The fighters are getting together, and it's about time they did it. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to come. We just need to see how it plays out. I don't think anyone knows how it's going to go at the moment.
I think the main thing is the money. They want to get more money.
Yeah,
They feel like they're not getting paid enough.
And I think that's part of the McGregor effect as well. He's the one who's
big
got
time.
people thinking about this.
Big time. Definitely. Conor McGregor was running his own business. Like, he is, and these UFC fighters are like, wait, we're not getting the...
Yeah.
We're getting the raw end of the deal here.
I mean,
They
some
have to
people
speak
still
up.
getting 10 grand to fight, 10 grand to
Is
show.
it that low?
Yeah, 10 grand to show, 10 to win. A little bit from Reebok, a couple of grand if they're new. It's not very good, so
No.
I feel like they need to get paid more.
Yeah, I totally understand and it's fair enough, but I will say one thing. I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little scared of evolution and progress.
Yeah.
Because I fucking love the way the UFC's been run. Like, barring very, very, very few fights that have happened in all these years that I've been watching UFC, Dana White and Joe Silva has given us the fight that all the fans wanted to see.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't put them down. They've been right every time.
Their fight selection's been
surprised us
outstanding.
with all the fights they've picked.
Yeah.
You know, things that we wouldn't think of, and
Yeah.
they've worked out amazingly. You know, every UFC's gotten better as time has gone on. I feel.
Exactly.
I think a few issues with GSP being involved is, you know, he's been obviously told he can't fight in another promotion.
Yeah, that's a fuck situation. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't believe the UFC are doing that to him. Like,
And he had, I think he
pretty
had a
nuts.
bunch of sponsors ready to sponsor him, and obviously now Reebok is the only one, so that's stopping him from getting back in the cage.
I don't know if this is 100% true, but I heard that GSP was told that he couldn't get all those sponsors.
Yeah.
They couldn't sponsor for the fight, and he wasn't going to get paid like anywhere near top dollar. Like in his contract, it would be like a normal contract. So
Yeah.
they were just completely disrespecting him. It was like, look, you're not going to make money off us by coming back.
Yeah.
And I just felt like,
But he deserves it. He's
yeah,
GSP.
yeah, people would happily pay, and put money in his pocket
It's
to
absolutely
watch him fight again.
stupid to be just moaning about sponsors. I mean, if GSP wants to fight, he
Corporate
should be
world,
fighting
brother.
in the UFC.
The corporate world.
Yeah.
I know.
Let's not let it affect a good fight. You know, let's get rid of the sponsors. You know, or
Oh, no,
Or
it's
let
going to
them
get
happen,
worse than
you
that
know, I
now,
don't
man.
know.
It's all these Hollywood people. It's this conglomerate of people, agents and Hollywood actors and all these people that now own UFC. All they want is profit.
Yeah.
So they're going to make the fucking $1 billion deals with whoever they want, and then the fighters will get shortchanged. I mean, that's just the way it's going now. It's just like any business.
But this union is to try and stop things like that and make it a bit more fair, and obviously make the contracts a bit more in the fighters' favour.
Yeah, they have to retaliate, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting going forward.
It's nice that, I like that, yeah. UFC getting sold, try to give them a little uppercut.
We want
Now
our
the
money.
fighters getting a union together. Okay,
Yeah.
swing back.
Notorious.
So here at Notorious MMA Podcast, what we like to do, one of the main things that we get all giddy about, are the predictions and the scoring system that we have for each fight we predict.
You can call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things.
Scoring very simple but effective. 1 point for guessing the correct fighter. If you correct the guess fighter, you can also get bonus points for the method and the round. Aight? So
3 points total, and each fight.
yeah, up for grabs. Each fight's got 3 in total.
So Kennedy, Gastelum, Eric.
Yeah, Kennedy for me. He wins. I'm gonna say Gastelum gasses. So second round TKO.
Okay, I'm going Kennedy. First round TKO.
Nice.
Leo.
yeah. I'm going against the tide on this one. I'll go with Gastelum, and I think decision.
Okay.
Cool.
Paul, what are you picking?
I'm going with Kelvin Gastelum, playing it safe, by decision. Cub Swanson versus Korean Superboy, and I'm going with Korean Superboy. KO second round, because he looks lively.
Going for Cub Swanson on this one. He's got the experience. I think he will.
The Cubinator.
I think he'll knock him out. Yeah.
Win, man.
Second rounds.
Second round.
Okay, I'm going for Choi, and I'm going decision Choi, 3 rounds. Eric?
Choi, KO, third.
Late stoppage.
Cool. Okay, Lee, who you got for Cowboy versus Brown?
I'm going Cowboy, knockout, second round.
Nice.
Going with Cerrone decision.
I'll go for Cerrone as well. It's got to be Cowboy. I think he will win by. I think it's going to be a war. I think it will go to third round, and then he will knock him out.
Knockout.
Nice. I'm going Cowboy decision. I think it's going to be a complete war. Because Matt Brown can take a beating.
Okay, and the main event, Max Holloway versus Showtime Pettis.
Right. I'm put my neck out on the line, so I'm going to go Pettis. He's going to pull it off. I think it's going to be spectacular. Yeah, third round KO.
Okay, I'm going for Max Holloway. Submission. And I'm going 4th round.
I'm going with Holloway, KO, 4th round. Pretty sure Holloway will win that.
Leo?
I think I'm going to go with Max Holloway, and I think a decision on this one. I think I'll go all the way.
5 rounds. I like this. Okay, so thanks for listening. This is the first ever Notorious MMA podcast. The first of many, hopefully. How do you think it went, boy?
It was a pleasure. Loved doing it.
Enjoyed being here?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for listening in.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed. We will be back before UFC 207 for the big Ronda Nunez end of the year card.
Ronda's back, baby.
Can't wait.
Talk about that, everything in between, a few other events under the radar. And we'll see you all soon.
Hell yeah.
For more of our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel below, Notorious MMA Podcast. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Notorious MMA.